Hey guys, so how's it going? I just watched the Xbox showcase for 2025 summer, and I gotta be honest, I thought it was okay, better than I expected, but that's not really a high bar to set. But there's one thing I really didn't like, and that's the fact that the first game showed off, Outer Worlds 2, is Xbox's first $80 video game. And I wanted to make a video talking about that, because oddly enough, I actually see a lot of people defending this by saying Game Pass, including the journalist we're going to take a look at today. As Xbox game prices rise, a Game Pass subscription looks better than ever. Certain Xbox games will soon see a price hike, but titles from Microsoft's first-party developers will still be coming to Game Pass. Now, there's a huge problem with the Xbox community and just throwing Game Pass in your face anytime you criticize anything Microsoft does. I mean, it is rampant. I mean, people were actually trying to defend the quality, if you want to call it that, of Redfall when it came out because you didn't have to pay full price for it, it was in Game Pass, despite the fact that it's still being sold as a $70 product that is near broken. It's a nice option to allow people to basically rent The Outer Worlds 2 and play it in Game Pass, but it's not nice to price everyone out of buying the game and owning it so they have to rent it in Game Pass. The fact that this game is going to be playable in Game Pass does not change the fact that they are selling this video game for $80. Renting a video game in a subscription service is not the same thing as outright buying a game to own. And I feel like Microsoft did this price increase knowing it would convert a lot of people over to Game Pass that can't afford modern video games at the $80 price point, and that is extremely predatory. Microsoft's $80 games are no longer just a looming threat. The Outer Worlds 2 is the first Xbox title to carry the hefty price tag, launching this October. Out of all games you could have made your first $80 video game, why would you pick a sequel to a 5 out of 10 video game like The Outer Worlds? You also gotta love the irony here, man. Outer Worlds is a series about criticizing capitalism, but yet the studio was bought out by Microsoft, one of the biggest capitalist companies on this planet, and they're pricing it at $80. For a team so, desperate to criticize capitalism, you sure do love the benefits of it. Oh yeah, and just to rub extra salt in the wound, when the game was announced to be $80, they were actually removing Steam discussion pages and Steam discussion posts about this. Obviously, they went back on that after they started getting criticism. The Outer Worlds 2's price reveal comes shortly after the release of Mario Kart World, which is Nintendo's first $80 video game. These price hikes will hit gamers' wallets and likely make players more selective about trying games they're unsure of. I mean, I do wish that were the case, but the Switch 2 sold out in minutes. I'm pretty sure it was the best-selling console of all time. Launch day-wise, I'm speaking, obviously. People just genuinely don't care, and it's pretty disappointing, I gotta be honest. People like me who speak out against the $80 price tag for Mario Kart World were definitely in the minority. And it was super disappointing to see people who spoke out against the price tag go and buy the game anyway. Only time will tell whether Microsoft can move the same number of units at a higher price. The Outer Worlds 2 is certainly no Grand Theft Auto 6, but the company's strategy may not rely on selling more copies at all. Yeah, it's to make it so unaffordable that you have to go into Game Pass if you want to play it. If you genuinely think the price increases are going to stop at $80, you are delusional. I wouldn't be surprised if in a year we're up to the $100 point. What point do we have to get to before gamers put their foot down and say, I'm not paying this much for this game? Because clearly $80 is not that point. People are more than willing to spend $80 for video games, as shown by the launch of the Switch 2. Xbox's first-party games are often included on Game Pass at launch, and The Outer Worlds 2 is no exception. If $80 games become the new normal for the Xbox brand, then the $10 per month subscription service suddenly looks much more attractive by comparison. Yeah, but that's not a good way to grow Game Pass. Making every other option besides Game Pass just complete shit doesn't make Game Pass better. It just makes everything else shit. Not to mention how scummy and predatory this type of stuff is. With a slew of games from the Xbox Showcase arriving on Game Pass on day one, this could be a gambit to convert more gamers into subscribers. As previously, Xbox exclusive games continue to go live across multiple platforms, launching on PlayStation as well as PC. Microsoft is deprioritizing its console hardware sales in favor of delivering premium gaming experiences. I mean, would you seriously call games like Avowed and South of Midnight premium gaming experiences? Although I will be honest, I really did enjoy Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and Doom the Dark Ages. And the best thing about Ninja Gaiden Black is it's like $50 I think. Not goddamn 80. Still, the company has an ecosystem of users to maintain, and it would still be a poor move to cede every advantage to Sony. Game Pass is Microsoft's great equalizer, because you can't access the subscription service on PlayStation consoles, and picking up PC subscribers is tapping into an entirely different part of the market. Yeah, a lot of PC players do not use Game Pass. I mean, part of that could be due to the Microsoft launcher, it's really not good at all, but who knows. PlayStation gamers who want to play the latest Xbox first-party titles will have to cough up $80. A kind of exclusivity light for those outside Microsoft's ecosystem. Yeah, that is nothing like exclusivity at all, because the game is still there and available to buy. Exclusive would be like, I don't know, Mario Kart World that can only be played on the Switch 2 in any form, well besides emulation. Also, I think the reason they might be porting over to PlayStation is because they have Game Pass on Xbox and PC. That may mean they get lower sales of the game. So to make up for that, they put the game on PlayStation as well. But that's just my theory. Creating Game Pass subscribers provides Microsoft with a steady stream of gaming revenue though, and Xbox and PC gamers who are put off by increasing AAA game prices are going to be funneled towards the digital gaming service. Or piracy. This is a great deal for gamers too, one of the best value propositions on the market right now. The core Game Pass subscription costs $120 for 12 months, or $144 for PC Game Pass, which means you're still getting a good deal if you only enjoy 2 of the Xbox titles that launch on the platform each year. Yeah, Game Pass is great, don't get me wrong. But you know what isn't great? Being forced to use Game Pass because owning a video game has become too expensive. And that is the part that this journalist is not addressing. Microsoft's showcase just revealed nearly 24 games that are coming to Game Pass over the next year and a half, so odds are good that you'll be able to find at least a small handful of $80 games you enjoy playing that you'd never have pulled the trigger on buying otherwise. In addition to the AAA games landing on Game Pass, the subscription service houses some of the most critically acclaimed indie darlings of all time, including Celeste, Dead Cells, Stardew Valley, and more. These aren't your $80 juggernauts, but they pad out the service's impressive library and inflict massive choice paralysis in the process. Game Pass was already one of the best deals in gaming. The rise of $80 games will simply make the service even more enticing. Once again, making everything around Game Pass more shitty doesn't make Game Pass better. Why can't we address the root problem, and that is $80 games in the first place? Anyway, I don't really have much else to say. $80 games should not be a thing, and this is a pathetic defense. Anyway, yeah, I'm out.